myself, my name's Saskia. I help people develop their full digital potential. On the one hand, I do that through supporting companies with such many different fields that are out there in the digital landscape. And I also help individuals by supporting them finding their own definition and way of. A quick note on my talk, I have a time frame of now 15 minutes. This is going to be tough learning and information bit that you will not take questions during the talk, but as they occur and after my presentation, I will stay in the room a bit. So I experienced some minor internet troubles today. If you cannot read everything that is on the slides, don't worry, they're just to say, so you will not miss anything. If you just listen to me, we'll also provide the slides online for you. Today, it's digitalization that makes the world go round, and we enjoy it, don't we? We have the coffee in one hand in the morning, the smartphone in the other. We don't really miss the times where we had our commute newspaper in the metro, do we? So then we're at work, we're sending a quick colleague in Asana. We're writing a quick email to our lunch date. Are we still on? Way more comfortable than running through the whole office, right? On the way home, can anybody grab noodles from the supermarket? Or we order our dinner on Deliveroo while we're still on the road. We have streaming. Cable TV has actually really become boring, so hallowed be thy Netflix, right? And now I want to ask you, how many times were you screaming internally, wanting to interrupt me and saying like, actually, reading the paywall and paywall. Task in Asana, where exactly was that button that makes it so easy? Lunch invite via mail. Can the person finally have a confirmed invite with time and date? And the dinner order is a very, very narrow time window and half hour. Yeah, and then Netflix, decision overload. Too many things to watch, too less time to do so. Can't compute decision request. How did we get there? After all, was promised that digitalization is here to make our lives easy? Well, we have to understand that digitalization is merely a tool. It enhances what we as people can and want to do. It doesn't help us immensely, but it is a tool nevertheless. And where digitalization really strikes and pleases the masses, so to say, is when it makes us connect with other people. Obvious examples for that, Facebook and LinkedIn. Less obvious examples of connections are, for example, and that also means digitalization is about the people. It's about the customers, your employees. Having said that, isn't it logical that humans have to stand in the center of all digitalization strategy concerns? Unfortunately not. Mostly, we're only looking for a small part of humankind. Because the decision on how we use digitalization, because the world we live in is what it is, these heads are mostly male, have a university degree, and when you look, are mostly white. On the one side, these CEOs and heads have the final say over which digital products are produced. Think of Mark Dobbs, Tim Cook, I could go on with the list forever. All white, all male, and had at least really, really high class. On the other side, you have the CEOs of the companies who decide to use the technology in the same category. And now think of ourselves and how you make decisions. Think of your favorite app. Why do you love it so much? Makes it your life easier, easily understandable and accessible for you. Now think of your partner. Do they like the app as well? It's prerequisites to use an app. Do they maybe even refuse to use the app because they can't see the use for them, how it works? The more homogeneous decision-making groups are compared, the more products we have that are designed after the motto, one size must fit all. Because there's nobody that makes them aware of the obstacles. And not just that, because they seem to assume they know the same as we do, and actively leave out something crucial information to not bother the others with unnecessary information. The higher we make these groups, the more people we leave out. These people will never use their products. They will never use it to their full potential. How many nicely gamified things our UX design includes? The app will just not meet their needs. How can we account for work for everybody involved? Actually, there are some levels we can work towards a better, let's say with ourselves. Let's be the change we want to see in the world, right? Diversity consists of so many layers. Color, the most visible ones, are only 2 dimensions of what diversity means. We can talk of so many things. We can talk of age, sexuality. We think of physical health, our mental health, where we come from, all the influences, culture, all of these different layers about diversity. So to know what we need, to know how we can be best, we need to know who we are. What we these technological things. To have digital tools supports us in when we need to understand where, right? So if we know what we need, We gain the confidence to ask what we want so that digitalization doesn't just happen. Empower ourselves by adjusting the tool to our needs, not the other way around. And get more relaxed with the use of it. And sometimes meet the digital needs of others. If we know how these things work and how we interact with it, dealing with the temporary unpleasantness becomes not just about us individually. The biggest part lies in companies, the ones who create technology and the ones who use it. As you've seen many different, but we only see diversity in narrow categories. A lot of times companies are aware how it looks if we don't, so they hire a woman, set her at the board table, and then never hire anyone. We already have one to support that diversity campaign, but then I was like, see here, we're interested in their input, never create a position in the company. How many years do you know that openly identify as trans? How many persons representing a company do you know who have autism? Highest paid female CEO in the complete United States in the year 2014. And she spent the first half of her year as a man in Saturday Night Live at the beginning of May. We know that Elon Musk has actually Asperger's. Yes, we need doing in our products. We cannot run towards every direction all at the same time. That is impossible time-wise, and it's not really resolved. What kind of message do we send with this? Putting a woman in the board makes a company look diverse. Think again. Diversity is the reality already. We all have difference in our way or another. And the topic has gained quite a bit of attention lately. How much are you willing to act on what your customers tell you about their needs? And customers now are more drawn to image and to meet their needs. With that, you also need to be aware in today's time, everything you do or don't do massive. When you're trying to fit everybody in a nicely organized, tidy box, and you're not willing to react on the messy lives of your customer, willingly or not, saying, you're not important enough to me to care about your needs. My comfort as a company stands over your need. Do you really want to groom that image? Summarize. The driver of digital technologies are we as human beings and our need to create a human connection with each other. Homogeneous teams and design create products for homogeneous customer groups. And the statement we give out of a diverse customer group with that is equally homogeneous. Well, we also found a key. On an individual level, we can embrace our own diverse traits. We can get to know us better, our capabilities, our unique traits. Companies, on the other hand, have to ask themselves, what's the decent thing to do? For those companies, I have good news. It's relatively easy to implement a working and inclusive team. Make it about the skills. Make your company accessible without job titles. Dear customer group as diverse. They're not mini-me's you. They're humans with their own needs and their own wants. Find this out, given that your customers will be more loyal than ever before. And make the teams of decision makers diverse and inclusive. Include the people that do not say the same. Let the parameters of your products be designed by diverse product teams. This can indeed save you a lot of pain in the development and protect you actually from a major PR design. Now, the bad acting on diversity will not always be easy. Being so easy in the past is that you had people who thought alike. Their way to come to decisions was alike. Diverse teams do way harder in these teams than it has ever been before. The new solution brings more hurdles. At the same time, these teams are with are better, makes your company more successful. And studies from several consulting firms back these findings. The degree vary with the general degree of diversity in a society, but all countries that were looked at can present higher financial outcome for their companies process and inclusive working environment. And let me stress this, inclusion being the key word here. If you just hire diverse skills or act on what they need, they will not feel valued and they will leave again. In addition to everything else that's going wrong, retention rate for everybody. If individual or company, we need to focus very much on, we need to stop focusing so much on we see a cool thing and ask ourselves, what problem can we solve with this? Perhaps you ask yourself why you want to solve that problem. Is it even, let's give you two examples about it with freelancers who come to me and say, I need a website. When I ask them why they need the website, they mostly answer, yeah, it requires. If LinkedIn works perfectly well for you to present yourself. In companies, the most common turn to this is that this technology, this new fancy technology, can boost your profit. Take blockchain. Everybody hears how blockchain can secure your company data. Everyone wants to use blockchain. But do you even know what it is? What it does? To yourself, is there really a good use case in your to ask that good use case, or are you just very, very excited about the technology hype? The question you should be asking yourself are, what do they expect from you? How can you solve their problem? What can help you do that? And most likely, however, it's something far less complex that helps you serve. It's already out there. We've already opened the gates to the party. Marginalized groups have fought hard to keep these doors open. We want to participate in this digital world, and then let's all dance together.